Hi, and welcome back. In this lecture, we're going to talk about key insight 4 Omnichannel Retail Strategies. So, first, let's figure out what omnichannel is. So, if you look at a single channel, it's either a brick and mortar store or a physical store or e commerce. So, it's using one channel to deliver your products and services. Then there's multi channels. So, multi channels is basically you're using both brick and mortar and e commerce. So you're using two types of channels to deliver your products and services. Omni-channel meaning you're using all the channels. So if you really think about it, multi-channel is what enables omni-channel. So in this case, omni-channel retail strategies meaning understanding your business as a whole to deliver a great experience across all the channels. So one of the main things is to address the challenges of accelerated delivery. So consumers nowadays don't want to wait several days to get their products delivered to their doorstep. So they want it now. So how are you going to solve those problems? So addressing any gaps in providing accelerated delivery. So including things like inventory accuracy. So you need 100% inventory accuracy to really understand a holistic picture of inventory in your business. And also things like SKU complexity. So stock keeping units are very complex because they have different types of measurements. Some need specialized conditions for storage, for example, things like meats and refrigerated items. And all these items must be kept in that particular temperature when delivering to customers because they might get spoiled. So there's so many factors involved in that complexity. Then there's things like demand forecasting. So demand forecasting is not just about anticipating the demand, but also preparing your internal operations to support that demand. For example, if you're expecting a $1 million sale of items during the Christmas season or during the New Year and festive season, you need to ensure that you have adequate staff, adequate production capacity, adequate storage capacity to ensure that the products are available on the shop floor when the customer comes to purchase. So there's so many factors involved, including coordinating with suppliers, getting the raw materials, manufacturing them, and putting it on the shelves before getting the customers to buy it. Then there are things like picking and packing costs. So all the costs associated with picking a piece of inventory from the warehouse and packing it for shipment. So how are you going to optimize that? And then the quality of execution. So how well can this entire process be executed? Is your staff trained enough? Are there any quality checks involved? And what are the automation tools and technologies that you're planning to use to ensure that orders are not misplaced or mismatched and there's no additional charges involved or losses involved to your business and that sort of a thing? And also you need to understand where speed matters. So not all the products need very fast delivery. For example, prepared food items need to be delivered within maybe an hour or so to customers, but luxury items not so fast. So around 2 to 3 days would be satisfactory. So you need to understand what are the high priority items, and then your supply chain should be able to dynamically handle those kind of logistic challenges as well when you're going for an omni-channel retail strategy. Then we have things like investing selectively in your logistic networks. So how exactly are you planning to invest and improve your logistic network? So that's a major challenge. And also we are seeing things like micro fulfillment centers where small automated warehouses are managing and improving the logistic chain. And how can small businesses really improve their logistics? So are they partnering with a third party rather than building the internal capability of logistic providers, because it's really expensive to run an entire network of logistic providers and also to keep operations at a very high level. So you need to basically understand what is needed and where it's needed. Then you have things like use analytics and automation to increase the productivity. So understanding the holistic picture as well as what's working in real time is very, very important. So warehouse operations taken over by automation will significantly improve the speed and accuracy of omnichannel order fulfillment. So by having advanced technologies like big data analytics and automation, it will really help your businesses to understand volatility. It will really help you to understand what's driving which factor. So that's very important when it comes to making decisions, especially when there's such a lot of complexity and volatility in the market. Then we have things like solving the last mile delivery challenge. So identifying and investing in regional careers, focusing on new delivery services such as the gig economy. So last mile delivery is basically getting the product from the last warehouse to the customer's doorstep. So if you're an SME or a small and medium enterprise, are you going to invest your own logistic team and build an internal team where you can control the cost very effectively, or are you going to outsource the entire operations to the gig economy? So companies like Uber, DoorDash, so those are a few of the gig economy companies who are delivering products to customers. But if you invest in a third party provider, or if you partner with a third party provider, they can control the price. So are you passing that charge to the customer, or are you going 50-50? You taking 50% of the charge and customers 50%. So that type of pricing model must also be considered when you're partnering with a third party provider. Then returns. So returns is one of the main challenges of e-commerce. It's not much of a big problem in a physical environment because customers can always bring the product to the store and then you can have a look at it and then change it or give a replacement. But in e-commerce, it's extremely tough because you have to go to the customer to get the product, or you have to allocate separate drop-off points so that customers can come and drop off their goods. So figuring out a financially feasible model for returns and also the logistical challenges of the returns, optimizing the cost relative to the customer's value proposition. So you can use a loyalty scheme, for example, and understand whether this customer has been buying from you a lot, and then decide on whether you are giving free returns or getting the customer to drop it off at your store or designated location. And also you can do things like establishing lockers for security and having pickup and drop off points for goods and things like that. Then opening up new hybrid business models. So new business models like buy online and pick up in store and curbside pickup can be explored. So if you're a traditional retailer, you can consider these options because lots of businesses these days are now moving towards a hybrid business model where customers can buy online and pick up their items on store. So this saves a lot of logistical problems because customers will come to your store and you don't have to worry about returns and last mile delivery challenges as well. And you can also incentivize this kind of behavior where customers are encouraged to pick from your store and give them something like a discount to encourage store pickup. Then we have things like sustainability. So driving sustainability and emission commitments are also challenging amidst all these challenges. So how exactly are you going to plan your omnichannel retail strategy while driving your commitments on sustainability and lowering carbon emissions? Then we have things like in-store mobile connectivity. So it's basically seamlessly integrating mobile app capabilities to the traditional brick and mortar store experiences. So for example, companies like Starbucks have fully embraced this because you can order via the Starbucks app and you can pick up from store. Then you have personalization. So personalizing the experience based on each customer's preferences and interests. So according to many reports and surveys, around 80% of the customers are more likely to make a purchase when brands offer personalized services. So for example, Nike does Nike by You. So it allows online shoppers to express themselves by creating customized products. Then you have cosmetic giants like Olay who are using smartphone capabilities to integrate and deliver a great customer experience. So they have something called Olay Skin Advisor. So you can snap a selfie and then answer a few basic questions, and then it will recommend you the right kind of product based on your skin tone and skin condition. Then you have things like contactless shopping experiences and also autonomous payout. So using the brand's app and scanning a QR code. And then you have things like Amazon Go, where you use your Amazon app and go to the store and then go in and pick out whatever you want and then go out. And automatically the bill will be charged to your Amazon account because the systems are so advanced that it's capable of identifying what you pick. And even if you pick something and decide to change your mind and put it back on the shelf, it will understand and update your shopping cart accordingly. Then there's things like social integration. So using social media as another channel of retail. So Instagram has Instagram shops, so you can have that sort of a channel as well. So there's entire spectrum called social commerce where it's using social media to perform e-commerce transactions. And then things like shops within social media platforms, as we talked about Instagram, and also Facebook marketplaces and things like that, where you can build shops and engage with the communities on social media. Then you have things like using AI and machine learning in innovative value creating ways. So using AI and ML to create value to customers in innovative ways. So the main thing is to understand and get the customer feedback. So social media is a very good platform for getting that feedback. So like we talked about that Domino's incident where Domino's understood social media negative feedback on their pizza toppings are not evenly distributed. So they created a special machine or scanner using AI and things like computer vision, which scans the pizza and sends a picture of the pizza to the customer so that the customer knows this is the kind of pizza that I'm getting. So this exponentially increased customer satisfaction because customers know what they are getting beforehand, and also they can have that assurance that they are getting value for money products from Domino's. Then we have things like following a systematic methodology for delivering an omnichannel experience. So a lot of companies are following a systematic approach these days, gaining a holistic view of your sales channels and business operations, and viewing things from the customer's shoes. Because you're serving customers, it's important to understand what the customer wants and how the customer wants it, their interests, their preferences, and all those sorts of things. And also figuring out where your customers engage and thrive. So where does your customers live basically? Whether it's online or whether it's through social media, whether they like traditional brick and mortar store, and that sort of a thing. Then you need to ensure that all touch points are shoppable. So let's say you have potential customers coming through Instagram. Can the customer shop through Instagram? Then a customer might ask you a question on WhatsApp. And can the customer purchase the service or product directly from WhatsApp itself? So are those facilities available and can you enable them if they're not available? And also, are you able to scale it to a level that you can manage those expectations? And then create consistency across the platform. So whether they're coming from Instagram, whether they're coming from WhatsApp, whether they're going through your e-commerce website or even coming to a physical store, can they have that same customer experience? Then incentivize customers to drive sales and drive business decisions based on analytics. So let's say you want to increase your physical store sales because that's much easier for you in terms of returns and processing. So you need to come up with ways of incentivizing and encouraging customers to purchase via your physical channel. And also decisions must be led by data analytics. So data analytics will provide you a lot of insight about what's happening in your business in very real time. So you can make very quick decisions and also very effective decisions based on the analytics platforms. So that's about it for this lecture. I'll see you on another one.